Does the Bible discuss just miracles or does it also discuss ancient aliens? How the hell is that even possible? What the hell does academia have to say about this? Hello, all you beautiful people. World's Okayest lawyer here. If you listened to me before, then you know this is a topic I love to discuss. Let's explore. Today's episode will explore the crossroads of history, faith, and the unexplained. Today we're diving into two of the most mysterious and debated celestial events in history: the pillar of cloud and fire that guided the Israelites during the Exodus, and the star of Bethlehem that led the Magi to the child Jesus. Were these cosmic events acts of divine intervention, rare natural phenomena, or as some believe, evidence of advanced extraterrestrial technology? We're going to look at these stories from every angle: ancient culture, theology, science, and speculative theories. By the end, you'll have plenty to ponder about what these signs in the sky might truly represent. So settle in and let's journey into the mysteries above us. For as long as we've been looking up at the stars, we've assigned them meaning. For ancient people, the sky wasn't just a vast expanse of mystery, it was a divine message board. Each star, comet, or celestial anomaly carried potential significance. The Hebrew Bible reflects this ancient worldview. In it, we see God communicating through the heavens, whether it's the creation of the stars in Genesis, the stopping of the sun in Joshua, or the two extraordinary phenomena we're focused on today. But here's the fascinating thing. The way we interpret these events has evolved over time. Where ancient cultures might have seen them purely as acts of the divine, modern thinkers have added layers of scientific inquiry and even speculation about extraterrestrial technology. The stories of the Exodus and the Star of Bethlehem are perfect examples. They challenge us to ask, are these accounts purely symbolic, scientifically explainable, or something more extraordinary? Let's start with the pillar of cloud and fire. The story comes from the book of Exodus, where the Israelites flee Egypt and begin their journey through the wilderness. According to the text, by day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so they could travel by day or night. This wasn't just a guiding light, it was a symbol of divine presence. The pillar protected the Israelites from the Egyptian army, led them through the wilderness, and gave them assurance they weren't alone. For centuries, theologians have regarded this as a miraculous intervention, proof that God was actively leading his people. But as with many ancient stories, some had looked for natural explanations. For example, could the pillar have been a volcanic plume in the region? Could it have been a rare phenomenon caused by weather, like a fire whirl or electrical discharges creating the fire? Some suggest it was a type of mirage caused by heat and atmospheric conditions in the desert. But none of these fully explain the pillar's ability to move with purpose, block armies, and act with intelligence. This is where ancient alien theorists enter the conversation. They propose the pillar wasn't a natural phenomenon at all, but a piece of advanced technology, perhaps a hovering spacecraft. They argue that the cloud by day might have been exhaust or a protective shield, and the fire by night could have been propulsion or energy emissions. The Star of Bethlehem. This story comes from the Gospel of Matthew, where the star leads three mysterious figures, the wise men or Magi, to the birthplace of Jesus. But here's the question. What was this star? Was it a miracle, a natural event, or some suggest something far more advanced? Let's start with the story itself. The Star of Bethlehem is mentioned only in the Gospel of Matthew in chapter 2. Here's a brief summary of what was written. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." The Magi, often depicted as three wise men, though the Bible doesn't specify their number, followed the star to Bethlehem. It leads them directly to the child. Along the way, they meet King Herod, who secretly plots to use the Magi to find and eliminate this so-called King of the Jews. Eventually, the star stops over the exact location of the child, and the Magi present their gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they take another route home. This story is filled with questions. Who were the Magi? What was this star? How could it move and stop over a specific place? Before we get to the star, let's talk about the Magi. Who were these mysterious figures? The word Magi comes from the Greek magoi, referring to a class of priests, astrologers, and scholars in ancient Persia and Babylon. These were learned men who studied the stars, interpreted dreams, and advised kings. The Magi mentioned in Matthew likely came from somewhere in the east, perhaps Persia, Babylon, or Arabia. It's no coincidence that they were astrologers. In the ancient world, astrology and astronomy were deeply connected, and celestial events were often interpreted as signs of divine or cosmic importance. A new star appearing in the sky might signify the birth of a great king or the start of a new era. But why would the Magi care about a Jewish king? Some scholars suggest they were familiar with Jewish prophecies, possibly through their interaction with Jewish communities in Babylon during their exile centuries earlier. And if you ask me for my world's okayest opinion, I would suggest they were familiar with Daniel, who is believed to have authored the book of Daniel. Prophecies like the one in Numbers 24:17, a star will come out of Jacob, a scepter will rise out of Israel, might have influenced their interpretation of the star. And what about their gifts? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh were not just valuable items, they carried symbolic meaning. Gold represented kingship, frankincense symbolized divinity, and myrrh foreshadowed Jesus' death and burial. But what's fascinating is that these gifts also aligned with commodities traded in the regions of Arabia and Persia, suggesting the Magi's origin. And then going back to Daniel for a hot second, whether you know or you don't know, the book of Daniel actually depicts how the Jewish people were enslaved by Babylon, and then later they were enslaved by Persia. But Daniel actually rose through slavery up into being kind of like a high command. He was a council member to both Nebuchadnezzar and the Persian king that I can't remember off the top of my head. But with having that sort of ability to communicate with not only the king themselves, but with other council members, other theologians who were, part of worshiping the gods of Babylon and Persia. This is something that could have came out of that. Now let's get to the heart of the mystery. The Star of Bethlehem. What could it have been? Let's explore the possibilities. Theological interpretation. From a faith perspective, the star is often seen as a divine miracle, a supernatural light sent by God to announce the birth of Jesus and guide the Magi. Its ability to move and stop over a specific location defies natural explanation and supports the idea of divine intervention. Astronomical theories. But what if the star was a natural celestial event? Astronomers and historians have proposed several possibilities. Planetary conjunctions. Some suggest the star was a conjunction of planets where two or more planets align closely in the sky, creating a bright, unusual light. For example, Jupiter and Saturn had a notable conjunction in 7 BCE, around the time of Jesus' supposed birth. Jupiter was associated with kingship, and Saturn was linked to the Jewish people, making this event symbolically significant. Comet or nova. Others propose it was a comet or nova, a sudden bright explosion of a star. Ancient records do describe comets appearing around this time, but comets are often seen as bad omens, which complicates this interpretation. A supernova. If you don't know what that is an exploding star. Could also explain the star's brightness. However, no supernova was visible to the naked eye or was recorded in that time period. Retrograde motion. Some speculate the movement of the star could be explained by the retrograde motion of planets, an optical illusion where planets appear to be moving backwards in the sky. Each of these theories is intriguing, but none fully explain the star's behavior, especially its ability to stop over a specific location. This is where speculative theories come in. Some suggest the Star of Bethlehem wasn't a star at all, but an advanced piece of technology, perhaps a hovering spacecraft or an alien beacon. Ancient alien theorists argue that the movement and precision of the star resemble descriptions of modern UFO sightings. If we entertain this possibility, it raises fascinating questions. Why would an advanced civilization guide the Magi? Were they observing or influencing human history? And could this explain other celestial phenomena in ancient texts? What's clear is that the Star of Bethlehem isn't just a story about a light in the sky. It's a story about hope, guidance, and the idea that the heavens can reveal profound truths about our world. For Christians, the star is a symbol of God's love and guidance. For astronomers, it's a puzzle that blends history and science. And for speculative thinkers, it's a tantalizing clue that invites us to question what we know about the universe. The idea that an advanced civilization could have had a hand in biblical accounts is a bold theory, but it raises an important question. Did an advanced civilization interact with ancient humans? Perhaps the reason this story endures is that it speaks to something universal, our desire to find meaning in the cosmos. Whether we see the star as a divine miracle, a cosmic event, or a piece of advanced technology, it reminds us that the universe is vast, mysterious, and full of wonder. So what do you think? Was the pillar of cloud and then the fire at night or the Star of Bethlehem a miracle, a rare celestial event, or something else entirely? The beauty of this mystery is that it invites us to keep asking questions, to explore the intersection of science, faith, and imagination. Thank you for joining me into the past. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to World's Okayest Lawyer and share your thoughts on social media. I'd love to hear your theories about the star, the pillar, and the fire at night, along with the Magi. Again, I think they either came from Babylon or Persia. Until next time, keep looking up and remember the skies hold more secrets than we may ever know. Lastly, it costs $0 to be kind. It's the best money you will ever spend. Until next time, beautiful people, peace.